Welcome back. In this video, I say let's add some doodads. We have the title and the date that are already being used. We have the path being used. Two little doodads not being used are the YouTube specified and the authors. So where to start? Well, I guess we can start with the authors. Now in the example config that is provided, we can just say my name is Steve G. And eventually we can add like GitHub or whatever for website, but for now let's just stick with name to keep it simple. And now in the post YAML under the title, we can put an H3, I guess, or we can just have a little div, and we will say that the post author is there. But for this doodad, we should probably check and make sure it's there. So we can say if author exists in the post, we will say by post author. Now we can serve it up, click through, no author for that one. Okay, it doesn't seem to have worked. Okay, so we check if it has authors. That was the problem. It's plural. And for each of the authors, we say by author, which isn't perfect, but let's simulate having more than one author. I added a Steve2 key here, and for this 091 thing, I added other Steve as the other author, and currently we only have one author. Let's see. If we run that again, we get by Steve, by other Steve. So I think we want to separate them, but have them on the same line is probably fine for now. Let's see how that looks. That's good enough for now. Just list the authors. Let's just say if, okay, we've got all the cases covered for now. Author Steve, authors Steve, other Steve, and nothing if there's no author listed. Perfect. And we did that just like this. So now we actually want to print the author's metadata from the config, so we can look up in the config, which we should already have available, config.authors under this author key, and we can check and make sure that it's defined in the config before we do that. So we can say if it's defined, go for the name of the author defined in the config file, otherwise just list the author as it is. So how's that end up looking? Steve G, Steve 2, those are the full names from the config. Perfect. So if we go ahead in the default config, we have Steve G, Steve 2. Now what if there was a third author of this post named Jimbo? How's that going to show up? There he is, Jimbo. And we don't have to add him to the site-wide config if he's just a one-time contributor. We can just capitalize his name and we should be good to go. There we go. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to commit because that's some progress. Now, I deleted this React component right here because we don't really need it. But what we do need is if we specify a YouTube ID to output the YouTube video at the top of the post. So right before the body, we can do that. Now I can steal my YouTube player from the Next.js project that's currently powering my website and just replace some stuff. We don't really need the class name. Grab the YouTube ID, and I think everything else can stay the same. Let's see if it works. Okay, could use some CSS, but it works. But this whole thing could use some CSS. So wow, look at all these YouTube videos. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna save this, commit it for now. Now, how do we want to structure the assets folder if we have something like an image? Here's what I'm thinking. Since these markdown files can be organized in any which way, maybe we also want our static files to also be able to be organized in any which way. So what I'm thinking is we will gather all of the whatever.jpg files throughout and put them into the static folder when we render. So let's see. Yeah, we do have a static folder. So we can just say like static/assets or something and then go with that, I think. Maybe. What if there's name conflicts though? I don't know. I got to think about that one, but I might save it for another video and keep this one short for today. So we added some doodads and that's about it. Thanks for watching.